Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you may be in the world. And welcome to one final hurrah for season number 7 of the W12 Sprint Series. It's the final round of season number 7, and oh boy, have we got a championship fight in both classes up for grabs and for you tonight. So get your popcorn, sit down, because that's the most important thing. Because if you're standing up, boy, you're going to be blown back by the racing you're going to see tonight. We're going to be racing with the Porsche Cups at the Misano World Circuit. And Marco Simoncelli, track that I've been at personally, and I've done a track walk at. No boy, is this one of the good ones. Let's have a look then at how it is exactly looking in the championship today. We've had 5 previous rounds. We started off the season on the 28th of October, did a second round the 4th of November. The 11th of November was round number 3. The 18th of November, round number 4. The 25th of November, round number 5. And today is the 2nd of December. It's the month of Christmas, and it's the month of the W12 Sprint Series Season 7 finale, and that, to be exact, is today. This is how it's looking in the championship for today. 261 points for Mirko Bortolotti, then Rafael Renhofer, 236 points. 25 points separating the two at the top. It must be a two-man fight at the top of the overall championship. Benedict Hitz in P3 on 197 points. Is just a little bit too far back. Jonas Vana in 4th on 157, 153 for Marius Zug. Hendrik Augustin in 6th. Maximilian Paul in 7th. Markus Steffel in 8th, Niels Langeveld in 9th, Leon Blum in 10th. Dennis Richter in P1 in the Silver Championship, just 3 points ahead of Christian Ablasa in 2nd. Florian Stadtmann in P3 ahead of Philippe Ungrin in P4. Philippe said he wanted to go for the championship. I have a feeling he might just be a little bit too far off here today, but we're going to see what he can do. Hopefully he's able to mount some sort of a challenge. Stefano Pellegrino, 41 points, just 2 points behind Stefano Pellegrino. Then Ben Buhnagel in 6th, ahead of Lucas Base, 7th, Jan Linst in 8th, Mario Trummer in 9th, and Michael Döllinger in 10th. Looking at how things went last week then, it was a pole position in server number 1 for Andrea Frasinetti. Heat 1 though was won by Marius Zug ahead of Markus Steffel, Hugo Zasse in 3rd, and 4th Benedict Hitz, Marin Kurdanovsky 5th. So Andrea Frasinetti not able to put that pole into a pole position for the feature. Mirko Bortolotti starting on the front row together with Marius Zug by winning heat number 2. Niels Langeveld wins, finished 2nd behind Mirko Bortolotti, ahead of Rafael Renhofer, Maximilian Paul in 4th, Yannick Wonenberg in 5th. And that was heat 2, the top 5 there. The consolation race won by Martin Stadtmann and Sean Tay in P2. Then we went to the feature race. A race won by Mirko Bortolotti ahead of Maximilian Paul, Marius Zug, then Benedict Hitz in 4th, Marin Kurdanovsky 5th, Jonas Vana 6th, 7th, Martin Stadtmann, Niels Langeveld in 8th, 9th, Frasinetti 10th, Jens Fiedler. You might be asking yourself, where exactly is Rafael Renhofer? Rafael Renhofer got a penalty in this race, crossing the line, so he dropped all the way down to P18, didn't get a single point in that race. So he lost 25 points exactly to Mirko Bortolotti. Then in the silver class, the pole was taken by Dennis Richter. Dennis Richter also won the race in the silver class, ahead of Philippe Ungrin, Florian Stadtmann in 3rd, Jan Linst in 4th, Thomas Kiefer 5th, and Christian Ablasa in 6th. Last thing we have to look at is server number 2 is in the background. Qualifying has started. Jonas Vana took the pole ahead of Mirko Bortolotti in P2. Mirko won the feature race though. But the main race won by Rafael Renhoff, 25 points gained by him. Then Andrea Frasinetti in second, Jonas Vana in third, Marius Souk fourth, Mirko Bortolotti finishing in fifth. Then on to the reverse grid feature race. It was Mirko Bortolotti taking 1 point back on Rafael Renhoff, who finished second, ahead of Niels Langeveld in third, Ivan Ferrari fourth, Andrea Frasinetti finishing in fifth. Jan Lins took the pole in the silver class, finished 6th overall on the reverse grid. And Jan Lins finished 12th overall in the main race. That didn't win him the main race. That was won by Thomas Kiefer, who finished 8th overall. Florian Stadtmann finishing in 11th overall, finishing second in the silvers. And Jan Lins finishing in third out of Lucas Baza in fourth, Dennis Richter in fifth, and Philippe Augrin in sixth. Silver reverse grid race was won by Jan Lins, Dennis Richter in second, Stefano Pellegrino third, Lucas Baza fourth, Christian Ablesa in fifth, and Philippe Augrin in sixth. Quickly looking back at what we have to keep an eye on for today. Mirko Bortolotti and Rafael Renhoff fighting it out for the overall championship. Dennis Richter and Christian Ablesa, we have to say, probably fighting it out for the silver championship. Florian Stadtmann and Philippe Augrin and Stefano Pellegrino a long shot, but also still in this battle. On to qualifying then. It's time for these gladiators to put down their best times. Let's look at the man who has to attack, Rafael Renhoff. Could he be the first driver ever to unsettle Mirko Bortolotti, 6-time champion already? Could become a 7-time champion here today. One thing's for sure, and that is that Rafael Renhoff is gonna have to try absolutely everything. Good first sector so far from Renhoff. If we look at the points here in server number 1, 1 point is given for pole position. So that would already narrow the gap to 24 points. Then depending on what happens in the heats, you might gain a further 12 points on Mirko Bortolotti. Drop scores have been applied. This last round can not count as a drop score, therefore, as it finishes today, is how you get the points. Mirko Bortolotti on his qualifying lap, just moments behind Rafael Renhoff. All drivers are around the same area on the track. Luckily, it's a close qualifying, else some drivers would have been in trouble. Off the final corner though for Rafael Renhoff. What can he do? Can he go to pole? Can he take a point on Mirko Bortolotti already across the line for Rafael Renhoff? Takes the pole so far. What can Mirko Bortolotti do? Mirko Bortolotti slots in right behind him. 8,000ths of a second. It's not enough for Mirko Bortolotti to take the point away from Rafael Renhoff. So far, Rafael Renhoff taking the point away from Mirko Bortolotti. Mirko Bortolotti parks that car. Who else can do anything about it? Practicing a start there, Leon Blum. Is he a driver that could unsettle Rafael Renhoff at the front of the field? That's the question we ask ourselves. For sure, it doesn't look like it. With the sector times he's putting in at the minute. Rafael Renhoff might run away with the first point here. It's not much, but it's something. Leon Blum's gone round, and he can't finish the lap either. So then, this is the grid for the first heat race. If it wants to come up, there it is. Rafael Renhoff ahead of Hendrik Augustin. Niels Langeveld in third, Maximilian Paul in fourth, Yannick Wonnenberg fifth, Hugo Zasse 6th, Robert Hega 7th, Hugo Rob in P8. P9 for Jens Fiedler, P10 Christian Ablasa, Mario Hartzog in 11th, Stefano Pellegrino in 12th, Andrea Frasinetti in 13th, 14th Leon Blum, Lucas Baza in 15th, and Philippe Ugrin in 16th. Where is Dennis Richter? Dennis Richter is not in this heat. So really quickly, looking at the information, Christian Ablasa could do a tremendous job here in this first heat if he could pick up some points. Because Christian Ablasa is 10th overall. Needs luck to go his way, but only a little. And then he's completely in this. Here's Rafael Renhofer, the driver who everyone here will be looking at for the overall championship. First of all, trying to figure out who's going to take pole. Rafael Renhofer takes pole for the heat. Can he convert it? It's a good start at least for the Austrian Hendrik Augustin, who's so good in these Porsche Cup cars. In second, Niels Langeveld in third, Maximilian Paul fourth, Hugo Zasse in fifth after the first corner, but crucially for the championship, Rafael Renhofer in P1 still. Hendrik Augustin for Carlar is a driver who regularly drives these Porsche Cup cars. So I'm expecting him to do quite well in these cars. Expecting him to challenge for the win at least. First blow has been dealt out by Rafael Renhofer. Most important thing now is convert this pole position in the heat race to a pole position and a win in these heat races, and a pole position for the feature race. Control that race, drive away, and make sure that Mirko Bortolotti has to fight his own battle. Take the points that you can get. Looks like he's doing that at the moment. Hugo Zasse is fighting with Maximilian Paul for P4 and 5. They have to watch out that the train behind them isn't gonna catch them out. Of course, the top 5 important to show who's gonna get through to the feature race. And it looks like for the moment it's gonna be Hugo Zasse who's gonna be last through, but Robert Hega hot on his heels. Looking up the inside, you can see that Hugo Zasse reacted to that. Robert Hega will know this. Tighter line, able to drive a better line. Robert Hega. Another last corner. Gap at the front of the field. Already 8/10 of a second. Hendrik Augustin has made a mistake. Niels Langeveld is up at the second. Crackfiend, welcome in, buddy. Thank you for popping in. The answer to your question, do they race a new car every week, is they draw a completely random car out of a pre-selected bunch, and whatever they select is what they drive that evening. Nobody knows what they're gonna drive until they turn up, so you have limited practice. That's what this is all about. Robert Hega having to defend on Yannick Wonenberg. Hugo Rob is also behind that. He's gonna have a look around the outsides of Andrea Frasinetti, the Italian, trying to make his way through on the Swede. But the Swede says no, that's not going to happen. And Hugo Rob stays in P8. Rafael Renhofer though, with a 24-point gap in the championship now to our championship leader Mirko Bortolotti. And a 6-time champion Mirko Bortolotti is doing everything he needs to close that gap up to at least 23. If Mirko Bortolotti takes the front row start together with him in the next heat, 11 points awarded for a win in Heat 2, 12 points awarded for a win in Heat 1. So that would close that gap up by a further point, and every point you can nibble away before you go to server 2 is 1. This is not where it's going to be decided for these two. We hope it's going to go to server 2. We hope it's going to go to the last race. We hope it's going to be a spectacle. That's what we hope for. Spectators. If it's down to Mirko Bortolotti, he'll close it off in server 1. But it's not. He has to beat Rafael Renhofer first on track. He couldn't do so in qualifying, so Rafael Renhofer fighting for the pole and the maximum amount of points here. Hendrik Augustin has gotten past Niels Langeveld again. Those two at the front of the field trading mistakes, I feel like. Lap times here of about 1 minute 37. That means with 4 minutes 40 on the clock already, that next lap's going to be white flag lap. White flag for Hendrik Augustin and, more crucially, Rafael Renhofer at the front. One more lap with 3 seconds almost the gap at the front. Rafael Renhofer can bring this home securely. Frasinetti with a bit of a mistake coming on to the main straight. Was there contact? I feel like there was. Maybe this will give us a bit of an indication. This is going into the last corner. Hugo Rob with the colorful livery on the inside. Is there going to be contact on the outside? It's the 13 of Leon Blum. Leon Blum touches him. Oh my goodness. And it's once again Hugo Rob who's caught up in that. Has nothing to do with it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the luck that Hugo Rob has had this season. And not only this season, previous seasons too. I cannot believe what this man has just experienced once again. The battle is not over yet though. The 1-1-2 of Philipp Ugranau defending on Andrea Frasinetti on the inside. The white livery car. The white livery Porsche. And he gets out ahead, our silver driver. Also crucial for the silver championship, Christian Ablasa. Only managing P11 so far, but crucially doing what he needs to do at the front of the field. Rafael Renhofer takes the win, takes 12 points home. And for now, closes the gap up to 12 points in the championship. Mirko Bortolotti is going to get a chance to answer in the next heat. But for now, the gap is 12 points. And a pole position for Rafael Renhofer in the feature race. And that's all he wanted. Waiting for the final cars then to come across the line. Jens Fiedler is the last one to do so in his Spezi livery. I do love a Spezi livery. And once again, Jens Fiedler has delivered on it. Boy, you have to love that livery. And you have to love Spezi. I've tried it now multiple times at my girlfriend's. And boy, that is one tasty drink. All right, to the grid then for race number 2. Mirko Bortolotti on the pole. He's going to get a chance to answer the oh-so-strong Rafael Renhofer in heat number 1. But he has the youngest driver on the grid next to him, Chante, who's also a almost veteran in these cars. Knows how to drive these cars well. Gridding is already done. Jonas Vana is third. Florian Becker in fourth. We're going to go to the front of the field because that's more important. Mirko Bortolotti, Chante, who's going to get the better start? Good start for the young boy. Chante, the German, up into P1 into turn 1. Mirko Bortolotti might be down into P2. Here has Jonas Vana up his inside to the outside now for Jonas Vana. But Chante getting the jump off the line. He might start in the front row of the grids as it stands. And might be able to challenge Rafael Renhofer. Mirko Bortolotti has to answer here. P3 is not too bad of a result for Mirko the Italian. But it's not what he needs. He needs to answer. It would only be 7 points. And the gap would come down to 19 already. Further back in the field, Dennis Richter has gone wide. He's taken the MotoGP long lap penalty and has rejoined the track. Dennis Richter, that's also crucial for the Silver Championship. Remember, Christian Ablasa not able to get further than 11 to start ahead of him. Dennis Richter has to finish 10th or higher. Chanter still at the front of the field. Bit of a mistake there, going wide from the young German. Could he take a victory? It wasn't quite to be at Watkins Glen in the GT3s and the Ferraris. That time Mirko Bortolotti had a calamity of a race. Jonas Vana also the closest to challenging him there. This is what these young guys dreamt of to do one day here in the W12 Sprint Series, and that's win a race. It might only be a heat race, but it's something, it's a start. Jonas Vana, though, once again, like he did at Watkins Glen, is going to try and do everything he can to pressurize Chanter. But the 15-year-old is running away at the front of the field. Mirko Bortolotti also not able to answer on the pace that they're driving. Ahead of him, Marius Zug trying to keep up with the pace that they're driving in the top three. Somewhat managing to do so. Ben Green, the last one to make it through to the feature race. It's all hell breaking loose in the background though. For P6, Benedikt Hitz ahead of Marinko Jordanovski. Markus Steffel now trying to get out ahead. And he is going to manage to do so. The exit though is for Marinko Jordanovski. He's going to come back at him. The outside for the German, the inside for the Austrian. Markus Steffel has the inside. You would say that's the favourable line through there, but Marinko Jordanovski crucially is able to hang it round the outside once again. Better traction on the exit. Now the next one's to the left. Finally the inside for Marinko Jordanovski, but he has to bail. No, he doesn't. The inside still for the last corner. Still these two are side by side. There have been for half a lap already now. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, gap up to a second for the 15-year-old Chanter. Marinko Jordanovski still on the insides of Markus Steffel. And Markus Steffel has gone round after almost a whole lap of side-by-side racing. Man, nobody able to hit him, or nobody luckily hitting him. And that is a miracle in itself, but after almost a whole lap of side-by-side racing between those two, they come together, and Markus Steffel has gone round to lose his 6th position compared to his starting position. The 15-year-old from Germany, Chanter, doing everything he needs to do to take home what would be his first race victory and the 12 points. Mirko Bortolotti closing up to the back of Jonas Vana. Mirko trying everything he can. After the nerves for Mirko as well, maybe have settled down a bit now. He's able to get onto the back of Jonas Vana, but not able to overtake him, and this is such a difficult track to overtake at. Mirko has driven it before in the GT World Challenge. Oh, he's all over the back of him now. Mirko's driving tighter lines. He's able to drive tighter lines. Can he make a pass? And if so, where is he going to do it? That's my question. Looks to the inside. That's a corner where you can do it. Jonas Vana goes slightly wide, but will get the traction on the exit. And The Italian is going to have to settle, I'm afraid, for a P3 here, and only 7 points. Gap coming down to 19 points in the championship after the win in Heat 1 for Rafael Renhofer and the pole position in qualifying. And off track for Mirko Bortolotti, trying everything. It's not quite done yet. Will Mirko have a look at some point in the last 2 corners? It doesn't look quite likely, but the boy from Germany is going to do it. Chanter rounding off the final corner. The 15-year-old takes his first victory in the W12 Sprint Series. It might only be a heat race, but it puts him on the front row for the feature. And oh boy, is that a start. Chanter wins at Misano in the Porsche Cup. Ivan Ferrari finishes P8. Dennis Richter has managed to get up into P10. Will start ahead of Christian Ablasa, his main championship rival in the Silver Class 2. Triumph galore for the championship leaders. Consolation race coming up for you, deciding places 11 and lower on the grid. Waiting for Torsten Gross to cross the start-finish line. He comes on to start-finish now. And there he goes. Across start to finish he go across the line. And that is that. Well, on to the consolation race then. Robert Hega ahead of Ben Green, then Jannik Vonenberg and Mariko Jordanovski P4, excuse me. Leon Blom 5th, Ivan Ferrari 6th. Philippe Hugrin first in the silver class, going for a shot for that championship. Oh boy, would he be happy with it. Martin Stadtmann in 8th, Andrea Frasinetti in 9th, Dennis Richter ahead of his championship rival Christian Ablasa. Florian Stadtmann in 12th, 13th Lucas Baza, Marco Stefflin 14th, 15th Stefano Pellegrino, Florian Becker 16th, Mario Hartzog 17th, Leon Linst 18th, Jens Fiedler 19th, Torsten Kroos 20th, and 21st Hugo Rob. To the lights we go.
Green, green, green.
A good start for Robert Hega. A bit of wheel spin for Jannik Vonenberg. He's going to drop 2 positions off the line. So is Robert Hega, the outside for Mariko Jordanovski, who might take the leader. No, he doesn't. Good start as well for Jannik Vonenberg. Philippe Hugrin trying to make his way up the order as well. Dennis Richter, who was up there in the... No, it isn't. It was his teammate who was up there. It was Jannik Vonenberg. Dennis Richter wasn't. He's lost that position to Ivan Ferrari. But gain 2 on Martin Stadtmann and Florian Stadtmann. Look at the field hurtling down into turn 6. A lot of drivers going wide. You have the possibility of doing that there. But Robert Hega has lost the lead to Mariko Jordanovski. Mariko Jordanovski up 3 positions off the line. Oh, there's a spinner in the background. It's Martin Stadtmann. Is everyone able to avoid him? No, they are not. Massive crash on the back straight. Jens Fiedler, Torsten Gross involved in it. Oh no, the Spezi livery is damaged. Not the Spezi livery. He's going to start from the back of the field. I'm afraid we're not going to see much of it. Martin Stadtmann spinning and getting hit on the straight. You would say that so many drivers had enough time to react to it, but turns out they did not. Jens Fiedler with a damaged car, still trying to make up some positions here. But that car severely damaged, and I have a feeling Andrea Frasinetti is going to make light work of the German. Mariko Jordanovski still in P1 ahead of Robert Hega. Then it's Jannik Vonenberg in P3 ahead of Ben Green in 4th, Leon Blum in 5th. Ferrari in P6. Florian Stadtmann up 5, Florian Becker up 8. Hugo Rob from the back of the field up into P12, up 9 positions. Those are 9 positions that he doesn't have to overtake in the feature race anymore. So it's crucial that he takes those positions now. That's less work for him in the feature race. Another position from another spinner. So many drivers having trouble even just keeping the car on the track. So Hugo Rob up into P12, up 12 positions, or up into P9, up 12 positions for the Swede. Putting himself right back into contention, maybe for at least the top 10 in the feature race. After the bad luck he had in the race before. Will this be the last lap? I have a feeling it might be. It is the white flag indeed. Last lap of the race. Did Robert Hega just think that that was the finish flag? Or did he have a slowdown? I have a feeling Robert Hega might have had a slowdown. I don't think he mistook the white flag for the checkered flag. That's not very Robert Hega-esque to do. But it looks like it's got to be Marinko Jordanovski picking up the win here and the 2 points in this race. Right then, coming into the final sector. Looking at the Silver Championship, Marinko Jordanovski is going to win this race. Dennis Richter is ahead of Frasinetti. But behind Stefano Pellegrino and Florian Stadtmann, who's going to take pole in the silver class. But crucially, Christian Ablasa is down in P17 with his championship rival Dennis Richter up in P11. That's going to be P21 for him in the feature race. And only P27 for Christian Ablasa. Waiting for the final drivers to cross the line before we go into a bit of a warm-up. Time for me to rest my voice a bit. And time for you guys to take a breather. Take another glass of whatever kind of beverage your preferred drink is for tonight. Take some extra popcorn and get ready for the final showdown in Server 1. All right, that's it for the warm-up. Let's have a look at the grid then for what might be a decisive race in the championship. Rafael Renhofer in P1 ahead of Chanter. In second, Hendrik Augustin in P3 and Jonas Vana in P4. Niels Langeveld in fifth, Mirko Bortolotti only in 6th, 7th, Maximilian Paul, Marius Soek in 8th, 9th, Hugo Zasse, 10th, Benedict Hitz, Marin Kurdanovski, P11, P12, Robert Hega, P13, Leon Blum, P14, Yannick Vonenberg, Ivan Ferrari, P15, 16, Markus Steffel, Florian Becker taking the pole in the silver class, Hugo Rob 18, Stefano Pellegrino 19, Florian Becker 20th, Dennis Richter, P21, P22, Andrea Frasinetti, that's the gridding already done. Let's wait for these 5 red lights to go out. Chanter, can he do it again? He once again has a flyer of a start, but so does Rafael Renhofer. These two really can't afford anything. Mirko Bortolotti trying to challenge up the inside already to take P4 away. He can't. He has Hendrik Augustin and Maximilian Paul behind him. The outside for Marius Zug, still side by side between Mirko Bortolotti and Marius. Marius gonna have to carry it around the outside. Mirko Bortolotti will not allow that. And so, it is P5 at least for Mirko Bortolotti. As it stands, Mirko Bortolotti would get 15 points, Rafael Renhofer would get 25. Gap comes down to 9 points in the championship. But it's not over yet. Marius Zug is all over the back of Bortolotti. Bit of a mistake from Maximilian Paul behind. I don't really expect Maxi to be a threat to Mirko. I'd rather expect them to work together than the other way around. But Mirko Bortolotti has already got a gap of 1.4 up ahead to Niels Langeveld. What can Chanter do after taking his heat race victory and starting on the front row in the feature race? Can he pressurize Rafael Renhofer? Three tenths is the gap at the front of the field. He's keeping him honest. The question is, what's he going to do with strategy? Because that's where these drivers, I think, have the edge over drivers who are a little bit less experienced at the front of the field. And that is strategy play. These drivers are so smart, playing these strategies to almost perfection, really. Oh, there's a crash in the background. Is it Leon Blum? Yes, it is. He was involved in it. Markus Steffel involved in it too. Once again, the 37 of Markus Steffel having a moment, and he's right back at P16 where he started. Hugo Rob in P13, picking up at least 5 positions from where he started. That's a good opening phase for him of the race too. Mirko Bortolotti 1.7 seconds, pressured by Zug and Paul. Marius Zug is pressurizing Mirko Bortolotti. This is not what we were expecting going into tonight's round. We thought that with a gap of 25 points, Mirko Bortolotti could do what Mirko Bortolotti does best, and that is control races from the front of the field. Marius Zug has gone, or has taken that position from, I think it was Jonas Vana who went round. Yes, it was. Was that together with Chanter? We'll have a look at it. Jonas Vana, here we go. Yeah, he was ahead of Chanter. Chanter up the inside. And he's a bit too eager on throttle in it. Yes, he is. And he's gone round. This was the initial pass that went. Oh, a slowdown for Chanter. That allows him ahead. Oh, and then he just gets unsettled. Right, that's that figured out. Jonas Vana down the order. Chanter still in P2 though. 1.4 seconds back on Rafael Renoffer. What can he do from this position? Now that that has happened, Niels Langeveld under pressure from Mirko Bortolotti. How this race can swing right. Mirko Bortolotti was under pressure from Maximilian Paul and Marius Zug. Marius Zug made a mistake. It's also Jonas Vana who made a mistake. I had a Mirko Bortolotti that gives him an extra 3 points. Gap up to 12 points once again going into the next server. Pit stop made by Marius Zug. Different strategy. Trying to get out of the busy rush hour traffic that was ahead of him. Chanter trying to get up to the back of Renhofer now. Bortolotti on the back of what is his teammate essentially, Niels Langeveld. Will Niels Langeveld adhere to team orders if there are any? That is my question. And what is Mirko going to do in terms of strategy here? A lot of drivers have already pitted. Henrik Augustin has the fastest lap so far. And he's quite a considerable amount faster than the drivers ahead of him. No, but not like that. Marius Zug coming out of the pits right ahead of him. And Henrik Augustin into P2, the drivers who have made their pit stop already. Chanter keeping the same distance to Renhofer. Showing that he can do what he needs to do to take a victory. Renhofer wasn't there at Watkins to deny him. That time it was Jonas Vana. But the young German handling that pressure so well, chasing down what is essentially the highest rated I-rating driver in the field. He's back to Mirko Bortolotti in the background. It's Maximilian Paul with a big moment. Is Marin Kurdanovsky going to capitalize from that? No is the answer. 7 minutes into this race now. And here comes Jordanovsky around the outside of Maximilian Paul. And he can't quite do it. Jordanovsky looking for a way past, but not able to find it so far. How is it looking in the silver class as these two come together going onto pit road? It's never a good idea, gentlemen. Mirko Bortolotti also into the pits. How long is this pit stop going to be compared to the rest? 6.5. That's a short one by half a second. Average pit stop time around 7 seconds. So once again a short pit stop by Mirko Bortolotti. But has to try something here. Excuse me. In the silver class, Ugrin going long together with Jan Lins. Dennis Richter. He's ahead of Christian Ablasa. But crucially, only in P22. And only in P4 in the silver class. Alright, it's about time, I think. Next lap for the top runners to go and make their pit stops. Marco Bortolotti, where is he? Where has he come out? He's come out in P10 in completely clean air. Can focus on his own race now. There's Marius Zug. Marco Bortolotti, first of those drivers who have made their pit stop. So something is working for him at least. Maximilian Paul in the traffic in a battle that's going to slow them all down. Marius Zug, Maximilian Paul and Hendrik Augustin. It's going to slow them all down. It's allowing Marco Bortolotti to nicely run away from these three. No pressure from behind. Marius Zug into pit lane for a second time. Is that a drive-through penalty for penalty points? Let's hope that wasn't speeding for him either. He's going to stop again on the marks. Here's Raphael Renhofer together with Sean Terre. You can't help but wonder, what if Sean Terre didn't get that slowdown? It would be all over the back of Raphael Renhofer. He's had a P2 already. He's been close already. He wants more. He's ready for more. He's shown that he's got the quality for more here this evening, Sean Terre. But quality comes with more than just lap time. Quality is strategy too. What can he do compared to Renhofer now? How much time is he going to lose? How much time is he going to gain here? This is where the good drivers separate themselves from the greats. Starting second on the grid, he's right behind him in the pit stop. It's a bit of a longer pit stop for Sean Terre. This is what I meant. This is where you're gonna lose those races. Where's Marco Bortolotti coming on to start finish now? He's actually gained quite a considerable amount of margin on these two. Sean Terre is out ahead. Jonas Vana, where is he? Niels Langeveld is out ahead of Marco Bortolotti too. No, he isn't. Marco Bortolotti up into fourth. And at the moment, 8 points the difference between the two. No point for fastest lap. So the gap will come down to 11 points in the championship between our top two. If it stays as is. Rob has gone white. What's happened to the Swede? Oh, he's out of fuel, isn't he? He's out of fuel. Hugo, you... This is the pancake of a Hugo. He's going to get the pancake of the week for me. The Swede has run out of fuel. Such a Hugo Rob thing to do. So Marco Bortolotti up into P3 now. Having to reset to pit lane. Niels Langeveld being pressurized by Jonas Vana. Gap only 5 points in terms of the points as they finish as it stands. This is Mirko is doing enough here. Gap would come down to only 14, and that's a considerable margin going into the next server. 10 points awarded in the championship for the silver drivers. For P1. Not going to Philippe Ugre. Dennis Richter in P2 in that class. That would mean that Dennis Richter could clinch the championship in the first race of server 2. That's looking ahead though. As it stands, Philippe Ugre doing enough to Stefano Pellegrino and to Christian Ablasa. To gain some points back on him. Get into the top 2 at least. Rafael Renhofer, 2.1 seconds ahead of Chanter, who's not done anything wrong this whole race so far. Jonas Varna has had to reset to pit lane. What's happened to him? Something's happened to Jonas Varna. This is the last I can see from him on the timing screen. Oh, he goes into pit lane again. Just resets. That's a strange one there with Jonas Varna. Can't really understand what happened there. But we'll probably get an explanation if Jonas Varna is able to come in for an interview. Well then, Rafael Renhofer has done everything so far that he can do to unsettle Mirko Bortolotti. It's not in his hands. If he would win everything the whole evening, it's still not in his hands. He needs Mirko Bortolotti to maybe slip up a little bit somewhere. A P4, a P5 would have been amazing for him in this race. If Mirko Bortolotti would finish P4 or P5. But Mirko Bortolotti doing what Mirko Bortolotti does best, and that's stay consistent. Not do anything crazy. Pick up the places that other drivers drop. And it looks like Mirko Bortolotti is going to come home in a P3 position. And only 5 points separate P1 and P3. So the gap would come down from 19 to 14. And that would still be enough for Mirko to just comfortably finish P3 in both races in the next server. And for it just to be enough. Right then, Rafael Renhofer has done everything he could do in this server. He's going to round off the final couple of corners to complete what is for him a Grand Slam for the sessions that mattered in this server. Rafael Renhofer wins, closes the gap to 14 points at least. Chanter finishes P2, another second place for the young German. His time will come if he just keeps racking up those second place finishes. Mirko Bortolotti crucially takes a third place, 20 points in the bag. And only 5 less than Rafael Renhofer. Gap down to 14 points in the championship, and still it's in Mirko Bortolotti's hands. He just needs to finish well. Not finish any lower than third. And the championship will be his come the end of server 2. But that's easier said than done. In the silver championship, Dennis Richter has crossed the line to finish P1 there. Christian Ablasa finishing down in P5 in that class. That means with 10 points awarded for P1, 2 only for P5, if Dennis Richter finishes P1 in the silver class in the main race in server 2, he is the silver class champion. And boy, would he be happy with that. Let's see and wait if we have maybe some drivers coming in for an interview real quick before they go to the draw. I would love to talk to Rafael Renhofer. I would love to talk to Dennis Richter. And also Philippe Augrin. I would love to know what happened to him. He was in the lead of that class for so long. Alright, it seems like no one interested in an interview so far. Everyone's crossed the line, so let's go to the results for the feature race. Here it is, Rafael Renhofer closes the gap to Mirko Bortolotti, who finished P3 to 14 points in the championship. Chante picking up another second place, and at 15 years of age, he's doing amazing things. Niels Langeveld in P4, Benedict Hitz in 5th, Maximilian Paul 6th, Henrik Augustin in 7th, Marinko Jordanovski in 8th, 9th, Ivan Ferrari, 10th for Robert Hega. Then 11th for Florian Becker, Markus Steffel in 12th, Dennis Richter 13th, Florian Stadtmann finishes 2nd in the silver class. Dennis Richter with that result, putting himself in a position that if he wins, or finishes 2 points ahead of Ablasa, he will take home the silver class championship in the next race. Florian Stadtmann finishing in P14, 2nd in the silver class. Jan Lins 3rd in the silver class, 15th overall. Stefano Pellegrino 4th in the silver class, 16th overall. Jens Fiedler 17th. Philippe Augrin 5th in the silver class, 18th overall. Leon Blum 19th in the silver class. Christian Ablasa 20th overall and 6th in the silver class. Loses 9 points towards his championship rival Dennis Richter. Then P21 for Andrea Frasinetti, Martin Stammmann P22, Lucas Baza P23, and Mario Hartzog, last driver to finish on the lead lap. All the drivers not finishing on the lead lap are Yannick Wonenberg, Jonas Warner, Hugo Robb, Torsten Groß, Marius Zug, Hugo Sasse, and Ben Green. That's it for the first server. We're awaiting the draw of server number 2. While we await that, we'll be back in a bit with more action and with the championship decider in both the silver and the overall class. Dan Paples, and today I'm taking you through everything that the W12 Sprint Series stands for. So fasten your seatbelts and enjoy the ride together with me. First things first, the W12 Sprint Series was founded in 2021 by professional racing driver Mirko Bortolotti, who won the DTM Championship in 2024. He came up with the concept aiming to combine the fun factor of driving unknown cars and tracks with the real-life race approach. This means having the ability to adapt to new situations quickly by having limited practice time, and more importantly, to provide the exact same preparation time to each competitor. The W12 Sprint Series takes place in the off-season, most likely on Mondays, consisting of 2 racing servers on each racing day. With more than 16 different car classes and more than 50 tracks forming the official draw, the uncertainty and variability makes this series unique. Also, the racing formats themselves are different. In Server 1, in fact, the action starts off with a 30-minute practice session before heading into a single lap one-shot qualifying. After that, the field will be split in 2 halves for the following 2 heat races, with the top 5 finishers advancing directly to the main race. A final consolation race for the remaining drivers will define the remainder of the starting grid, with all drivers competing against each other for the big points in the main race with a mandatory pit stop. Once Server 1 is complete, all drivers meet up in Discord to do a live draw for the next car and track combination for the second server, which will feature a more straightforward format consisting of a practice session and the almighty single lap qualifying, followed by an 18-minute main race. The event is rounded up with a top 18 reverse grid race of the same duration. Also, in this case, a pit stop is mandatory in both races, which triggers another important aspect of the W12 Sprint Series, and that is strategy. Since a couple of seasons ago, we also introduced the Silver Cup class, a classification dedicated to less experienced drivers who score points towards both classifications. Eligible silver drivers can easily be spotted on the livestream given their 3-digit race number and silver color badge. Last but not least, 2 more things worth mentioning. All car setups in the W12 Sprint Series are fixed, which means equal conditions for all drivers and all races will feature standing starts. Combined with an extremely competitive field of drivers, all ingredients are given to guarantee action. Don't miss it on our YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed this little introduction with me. I'm Dan Paples, your W12 Series commentator, and I'll see you on track. Hello. Welcome back to the W12 Sprint Series for one final time this season. It's time for server number 2. The 6-time champion of the W12 Sprint Series, Mirko Bortolotti. He is under pressure from Rafael Renhofa. He needs to perform. However, if I look at Rafael Renhofa in the session as it stands, he's only P10 in these GR86s. Mirko Bortolotti is P3. Now, slipstream plays a huge role in these cars, so we can't read into practice times too much. But it's a first mental blow dealt by Mirko Bortolotti. 14 points is the gap now between Mirko Bortolotti and Rafael Renhofa. And we're going into qualifying. Also keep in mind that the Silver Championship can be won, by sorry, I had to find him for a second. Dennis Richter, there he is on track. Wanted to find him. Dennis Richter can win the Silver Championship by just simply finishing ahead of Christian Ablasa. And that will be enough. This is how it was before this session. Florian Stadtmann just simply can't do enough. Florian Stadtmann is out of this. And Dennis Richter just needs to finish ahead of Christian Ablasa here. And then he is champion in the silver class in this first race. So all to play for in this first race. I have a feeling it might be decided in this first race between Dennis Richter and Christian Ablasa, but the overall might go to the second race. 14 points in it, 25 points on offer for the overall championship. Let's get this off our screen. I'm gonna go on board. This is such a long straight in these cars. Slipstream doing its magic down here at Kota in these cars. We're gonna see so much slipstreaming going on. Through that long right hander, which is even longer in these GR86s. All right, setting up for a lap then. Let's see what Dennis Richter can do in the Silver Class Championship. This is the qualifying for the first race, the main race coming up. This is where you qualify and take the position that you take in qualifying. Let's go on board with Dennis Richter. Needs to put in a lap, can't off track. Also crucial for the Silver Championship, this. Where is Christian Ablasa? Oh, they're on the same point of the track. This is Christian Ablasa. They're literally on the same point of the track. That's not a good corner for Christian Ablasa. And that might do it already. Dennis Richter now considerably ahead of Ablasa. And they started at the same time. Remember, it doesn't matter who finishes ahead of him. He just needs to finish in the points and ahead of Ablasa, and then he's champion. So for Dennis Richter, it's pretty simple. It's almost done and dusted already. This looks like a good and composed lap from Dennis Richter. What's Ablasa doing? Oh, has caught back up to Richter here. No, not quite. Oh, Richter with a bit too much entry speed. Sliding wide. Long right-hander now. Jonas Warner will be the first one to set a lap time. Rafael Renhofer will look to try and improve on that. Needs that pole position, or needs to stay ahead of Mirko Bortolotti at least. Jonas Warner across the line. He sets it 29.2. Renhofer already not enough to take the pole. 4/10 off of pole. What can Dennis Richter do? Across the line, Richter takes pole position in the silver class so far. Doesn't get beaten by Ablasa, who's 5 seconds off of Stadtmann. Ablasa is in trouble here. With Richter on the pole. Where is Mirko Bortolotti? Mirko Bortolotti is behind Renhofer by quite a margin. Mirko Bortolotti is down in P12. Rafael Renhofer is in P3. Oh boy, this is gonna get spicy. And do we love to see this? Alright, 1 point for pole position. That will go to Jonas Warner. But let's look at the grid. Here it is. Jonas Warner ahead of Benedict Hitz on the front row. Rafael Renhofer doing a good job qualifying ahead of Mirko Bortolotti. Hugo Robb alongside him in P4. Ben Green 5th. Yannick Wonenberg 6th. Hendrik Augustin 7th. Florian Becker in 8th. 9th is Ivan Ferrari. Niels Langeveld in 10th. Mirko Bortolotti not in the top 10. Marcus Steffer 11th. Mirko Bortolotti in P12 only. P13 for Marius Zug ahead of Robert Heger in P14. P15 for Andrea Frasinetti. 16 for Dennis Richter. 17th Hugo Sasse. 18th Florian Stadtmann. 19th Jan Lins. 20th Stefano Pellegrino. Christian Ablasa. And 21st Lucas Baza. 22nd Sean Tay after a good first server. 23rd in the second server. Not quite happy with that, I can imagine. Martin Stadtmann in 24th. Jens Fiedler 25th. 26th Leon Blum. 27th, Marin Kordonovski, 28th, Maximilian Paul, Mario Hartzog, 29th, and Philippe Hugrin in P30. That is the grid for you. So Rafael Renhofer, here he is, the blue and white machine, as it stands in the main race. Picking up 20 points. Mirko Bortolotti in P12 picking up 5. He would go ahead of Mirko Bortolotti going into the last race by 1 singular point. Alright, here we go to the green flag. Waiting for the 5 red lights. That was quick. And it's also slow in these GR86s. We're getting on to the start. How is Mirko Bortolotti getting on? Has already gained 1. Our championship leader choosing the middle of the track. Will become the inside contact with the 66. Little slight contact with Marius Zug. Mirko Bortolotti is in the middle of a sandwich there. Get out of it. Still P10. Has gained something. But has to be smart. Rafael Renhofer being pressurized by Hugo Robb. Hugo Robb could do his teammate Mirko Bortolotti a hell of a favor here. That slipstream though is going to be oh so strong. And I don't think anyone is going to be able to break away here. Augustin already has a second gap to the top 4, has to watch out now. The full 25 points would be awesome for Renhofer, but can he do it? And how can Mirko Bortolotti get on? There's a crash in the background. Dennis Richter doing everything he needs to do. He's happy to sit in P14. Ablasa in 26th. It's going to be a tall order for Ablasa to make up those positions. Strategy is one thing, but you do not want to lose the slipstream here. All chaos up ahead. Rafael Renhofer still on the back of hits. Augustin struggling to stay within a second of the top 4. Has now managed to get within that second. This is going to be a spicy race, I can tell you that much. Oh, what's happened to Rob? He's pitted already. Hugo Rob, the first one to pit. Jonas Varna being challenged up the inside by Benedict Hitzi. Gets past. Rafael Renhofer gets pushed right back into the clutches of Augustin. Marco Bortolotti, here he is. In the number 1, which looks like a number 7 for some reason. Right behind his teammate Niels Langeveld. Look how many Gazix drivers he has around him. That must be nice for Mirko too. Knowing that he can rely on these drivers if needed. But they won't give him any presents. Mirko knows that. If he goes asking for it, he's not going to get it. But they also know in what kind of fight Mirko Bortolotti is, so they won't fight him extremely hard! Oh no, Mirko Bortolotti, what have you done? You might have just given yourself a penalty. Is he going to give up that position to Niels Langeveld again? He really cannot afford to do so. That would drop him out of the points. He's going to have to wait what the stewards are going to have to say about it. I was going to say they're not going to race too hard, but Gazaks on Gazaks, and it's a spin. Meanwhile, the battle at the front of the field, fierce as ever. Someone having a slowdown, and that's Jonas Varna. Jonas Varna stuck with probably a slowdown. He has now bridged that gap a little from Varna to Augustin. But Renhofer crucially up into P2. This is where he's so good. Mirko Bortolotti into the pits. An early pit stop from Mirko. He's going to lose that slipstream. A short pit stop though, 3.6 seconds. And where is he gonna come out? This cannot be the preferred strategy for Mirko here. Can't imagine Mirko going for this on purpose. Maybe some damage forcing him into an early stop. But our championship leader has been on the back foot since the start of this race. The start from P12 was already not ideal. However, Renault cannot keep up with Benedict Hitz. Might just have to settle for a P2 here. A bit further back, Vana, Augustine, Ferrari, all together. They really cannot afford to fight here. Right, a couple of drivers making their pit stops now. At the front of the field. See where they come out. With respect to Mirko Bortolotti. Here he is, turning on to start-finish now. They all have very short pit stops. The pit lane time is what's going to do it. But Mirko Bortolotti is going to get out ahead. Still down 3. He's where a driver is. Mirko is still around P8, I think, even though he's lost that toe. So it was the better strategy for Mirko in the end. Even Ferrari still challenging Augustine here. Renault still not close enough to Hitz to try something. Now we gain some time though. He's now on the back of him, 4/10 only the gap. This is crucial for the championship battle. Meanwhile, how is Richter getting on? He's at P7 overall. Now granted, hasn't made his pit stop yet. Ablasa is in P3 in this class though. But he's down on P23. Has made his pit stop. No, he hasn't. Ablasa hasn't made his pit stop yet and he's down on P23. I have a feeling, ladies and gentlemen, that this might all just be done and dusted. Richter just needs to bring it to the finish now. But does he know it? Does he know it's quite comfortable for him? He follows Yannick Vonenberg into the pits. Off he goes. Dennis Richter stays ahead. Oh, overtakes Yannick Vonenberg in pit lane. Dennis Richter emerges. P14 overall after that pit stop. Jan Lins, after having made his pit stop, is P9. Mirko Bortolotti in P11 behind Marius Zug. Oh no, Jan Lins hasn't made his pit stop yet. Richter is P4 of the drivers who have made their pit stop. What a drive from Dennis Richter. He for sure is going to be bumped up to the overall class next season. That's for sure. Renault, oh, this is a fight that is losing them time. Renault took too long. Are they going to pit now? When are they going to pit? They can't pit on the last lap, I believe, due to their fuel reaching it. There's a mandatory pit stop, so you cannot go to the end without making it. But when you do it, I feel like it's up to the drivers at the minute. There isn't much fuel that they need. Augustine is into the pits. Ivan Ferrari is into the pits. P4 and P5, that is. Let's see where they emerge. Mirko Bortolotti's got to be golden here. Renault might need to take this victory here to give himself a good chance in the reverse grid race. Here's Mirko Bortolotti going all past all those people that were in the pits. And he's up at a P7. I think it's got to be a P6 for Mirko Bortolotti. As soon as everyone's made their pit stop. He's gotten past Marius Zug as well. Rafael Renhofer still battling with Jonas Vana. This is allowing Benedict Hitz to drive away. This is also crucial for the championship. 14 points in it at the moment. The swing in points would be 8. So it would be 6 points in it going into the reverse grid race. And there's only 12 points on offer for the win. If they finish on equal points, we're going to count back. When are they going to make their pit stop? 2 minutes 29 is the lap time. Oh, Renhofer goes now. Renhofer's going to try something different to the two in front of them. Wants a clean pit entry. And that was one. Stop. And go. Oh, long stop for Renhofer. Where's he going to come out? In the lead of that group at least. It's going to keep P3. But how close will Augustine be coming out of turn 1? There is Augustine. Yeah, not close enough. Bortolotti, P6 after having made his pit stop, the strategy's worked out perfectly for Mirko here. Once again trying something different and it working out. P6 and P3. A point swing of 8, yes. So 6 points would be the gap. So Mirko Bortolotti can't finish any lower than P8 in the reverse grid race. Now I don't think if Mirko stays clean that's going to be the case. Pace will always be there. Rafael Renhofer needs to come from way further back. And he needs to win the race for Mirko not to be allowed to finish 5th or lower or 8th or lower. So Mirko Bortolotti doing what he needs to do to keep it somewhat healthy, that lead. However, what can Renhofer do? It's all in his hands. If he can win this race, if he can do something that nobody expected, if you look at the pace that Vana and Hitz have had so far this race, why not? Upset. That's what he's done the whole season. Renhofer, the first season competing, and immediately putting the fire to Mirko Bortolotti, putting Mirko on the chopping block, because that's what you can call it. Mirko Bortolotti, 6 championships in the bag in W12 Sprint Series. Nobody else has been a champion yet. Yet we say, because the top 2 have made their pit stop now. And where are they going to emerge compared to Rafael Renhofer? Vana, has he taken the lead out of the pits? They're driving again, they're only exiting now. Renhofer has taken Vana. Can Renhofer take Benedict Hitz? He's going to try to cut back out of turn 1. He has the speed. The strategy's worked. The undercut has worked for Rafael Renhofer. Benedict Hitz is within a tenth. He's up for grabs for Rafael Renhofer. This is crucial. Extra points in the championship for Renhofer could mean that it's less comfortable for Mirko Bortolotti. If he wins this race and Mirko Bortolotti finishes in 6th, it's enough of a swing to make it whoever finishes ahead wins the championship. To make it a battle on track between Renhofer and Bortolotti. We are in the last lap of the race. Renhofer is close enough to benefit from that toe down the long back straight. Brakes late, can brake late, is all over the back of Benedict Hitz. This is crucial. Crucial, I say. Critical for the championship to make that overtake, to make it a battle on track going into the last race. Rafael Renhofer to the outside of Benedict Hitz. Benedict Hitz is not going to make it easy for him. Renhofer's going to risk everything he has. Takes the normal racing line, brakes latest. Swoops round the outside, isn't enough though. Hitz allows him the space. Hitz doesn't allow him the space. He pushes him wide. He knows what's up for grabs. He knows what Renhofer has to think about. Renhofer though gets the better traction out of 12. He's going to try the outside for 13. He puts his car alongside. The sausage curbs are not there. This is the controversial corner back in 2017 that took Max Verstappen off the podium. He has to watch out it doesn't touch Hitz. He's going to keep it to the last corner. He's going to try to cut back. Is he going to try something heroic? The outside for Renhofer. Hitz is going to defend it. Renhofer to the inside. The last corner. They're going to go side by side to the line. This could be crucial. It's going to be Hitz. It's going to be second for Renhofer. That's all he can do. But it could well be enough. Mirko Bortolotti finishes P6. The swing in the championship, 10 points. There's 4 points in it going into the last race. And oh boy, are we going to have a fight. Hugo Sasse comes through to take P7, but further back in the field, Dennis Richter with a P12 and a win in the silver class. He wins in the championship in 2024, season number 7 in the W12 Sprint Series. Dennis Richter is your silver champion. And oh boy, did he deserve that. He's been challenged from start to finish, but he's shown what he's made of by his driving here tonight. We now have a bit of a warm-up to calm down, to prepare for the last race. Let's see if we can quickly get Dennis Richter into the commentary booth. Let's hope he reads my message so we can get him in. Even if it's only 2 minutes, even if it's a minute. We want to talk to Dennis Richter, who's just clinched the silver championship. But it doesn't look like he's going to read it. Drivers trying their starts. Mirko Bortolotti will start higher up the order than Rafael Renhofer. He has the ability to defend from Renhofer when he can see him come up. Let's hope that happens without contact. Knowing Mirko, that for sure will be the case. But there might also be a penalty looming over Mirko Bortolotti's head after the contact with Niels Langeveld in the main race. It's gonna be 4 points in it. The gap was 14. Rafael Renhofer gets 22 points. Mirko Bortolotti gets 12. That leaves us with a 4-point gap at the front of the field. And still though, if Renhofer wins, Mirko Bortolotti could finish P4. Who's had more wins though? Let me quickly look at that. He's into the commentary booth though. Dennis, welcome in. Real quick, congratulations on your championship. You have about 10 seconds left. It's a bit late, but...
yeah, we can do it.
a happy Dennis Richter, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, really happy because it was very tough. I missed the first race from this season, and yeah, till the end, it's fine for me.
Is it gonna be a nice and relaxed Sunday drive around Kota now?
Yeah, really, because the car is really snappy sometimes, and now I can relax a little bit and had not to sweat anymore.
Dennis, you've seemed to improve throughout these 6 weeks substantially.
Yes.
What do you think that's down to?
I guess it's when you're so much in the sim, you can improve yourself, and you have to drive and have to drive and have to drive, and it doesn't work if you go in the sim, take a 2 weeks break, go again in the sim. You have to drive casually, and yeah, that's it. I guess you have to learn more and more and more, and That's how you do it.
So practice makes perfect, Dennis. Well,
Yes.
I'm gonna let you get on with your second race. Good luck.
Okay.
And we'll talk to you
Thank
later.
you, Dan. Bye.
That was Dennis Richter. We'll
Green
go
flag,
to the
green
start
flag.
of this race real quick, because we're missing it at the moment. It was Jan Lins at the front of the field. The silver driver takes the reverse grid pole. Martin Jordanovski's alongside him on the front row. Maximilian Paul in P3 ahead of Chanter in P4. But look at Chanter, look at Maximilian Paul, look at Martin Jordanovski swooping round the outside to take P1 from his teammate Jan Lins. Further back, Mirko Bortolotti is already together with Rafael Renhofer. There's contact in the background, Jonas Vana that is. P11 for Rafael Renhofer now. Mirko Bortolotti right ahead of him. He has his championship rival right up in front. Dennis Richter, who we were just talking to, is now in between the two. The silver driver, our silver champion of 2024 season number 7. Dropping down the order. Obviously not the best race preparations coming into the commentary booth for an interview just 2 seconds before the start. But he's trying to attack Rafael Renhofer, who goes deep into the turn 9 onto the straight. Not the best exit, but good enough. Rafael Renhofer has his target right ahead of him. Martin Stadtmann allowing Mirko Bortolotti past. He's now going to be his rear gun, I feel like. Mirko Bortolotti knows what's up for grabs. Martin Stadtmann knows what's up for grabs. Marinko Jordanovski at the front of the field though. 8/10 ahead of Jan Lins already. If Jan Lins could finish on the podium here and win in the silver class, could swing himself up quite a bit in that class. Bortolotti up to 5th already. Down to 6th, Jens Fiedler doesn't allow him through. And Renhofer is once again right on the back of Mirko Bortolotti here. This is what he wants to see, this is what he likes to see. Mirko Bortolotti flashing headlights. He wants past. Jens Fiedler thinks differently about that. Mirko Bortolotti looking to the inside, can't quite do it. Renhofer on the back of the Italian now. Has nothing to lose. Rafael Renhofer has P2 in the championship clinched. It's only P1, 4 points in it. Is he going to look to the inside of turn 1? Is he going to throw a dive? Mirko throws a dive to the inside of Jens Fiedler. This is championship racing at its best. Mirko Bortolotti under pressure tries the attack, which is most of the time the best defense. It doesn't quite work on Jens Fiedler though. He's going to carry it around the outside. Mirko Bortolotti having to stamp on the brake mid-corner. That's allowed Renhofer to get right onto the back bumper of the Italian. We're missing Hugo Rob and Jordanovski at the front, but he throws it to the inside. Rafael Renhofer, there's almost contact between the two. These two not only have been coming through the field rapidly, but have also been giving each other a massive fight. Jens Fiedler with a mistake now. Mirko Bortolotti might get 2 in 1. Chanter next up on the list for Mirko Bortolotti. Rafael Renhofer is looking to go with him. And he gets the move done. He's out ahead of Chanter. Chanter though, is going to look to try and re-overtake Renhofer maybe. Is he going to try and push him up to the back of Bortolotti? It looks like it. Knows that he's maybe a bit too quick for him. Would rather stick behind. Mirko Bortolotti looking to the inside of Jan Lins. Jan Lins, the silver driver, might lose 2 positions in 1 here. Yes, he does. Floodgates have opened now. Watch Jan Lins drop further back as Hugo Zasse tries to make it round the outside too. He can't quite. Manages to get the cut back though. Mirko Bortolotti and Rafael Renhofer have been coming through the field and giving each other a massive fight. But it's not doing anything really for Rafael Renhofer. He for 1 needs to finish ahead. And 2 needs Mirko Bortolotti to finish a bit lower down. We're up at the front of the field now, right ahead of this battle. Oh, Renova tries something to the inside of Bortolotti. Bortolotti knows it. He has Hugo Zasse behind him too. But Hugo Rob on the back of Marinko Jordanovski too. Back to the battle for the championship though. Marco Bortolotti, Rafael Renhofer. Oh, look at the lean of these cars. Boy, have we struck gold with the draw this evening. Marco Bortolotti smashing over the sausage curb. Car can take it. Marco Bortolotti looking to the inside of 9, throws it in there. And gets back ahead of Renhofer. They're still side by side though, coming out of the corner. Hugo Rob at the front of the field pushing Marinko Jordanovski. These two trying to get away from the pack behind them. We'll have this side draft on each other. Hugo Zasse coming from P5 to take P3, to take them both. Demotes Marco Bortolotti down to P4. What team orders, says Hugo Zasse. Marco Bortolotti going to try it around the outside. Rafael Renhofer has a look. Can't quite make it. Forces Marco Bortolotti to go defensive. Breaks early. Cut back possible for Renhofer here. Doesn't quite manage to pull it off though. But Hugo Zasse says, team orders? What team orders? Jumps ahead of Marco Bortolotti. But it's a Gazex 1, 2, 3, 4 at the moment. With Jan Lins, the silver driver, staying in P6. It could well be a Gazex 1, 2, 3, 4 and 6. Fiedler heading into the pits to try something different. That makes it a Gazex 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 and 8. Or 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 and 8. 7 of the 8 spots in the top 8 are occupied by Gazex drivers. Most important one is Marco Bortolotti on the podium, ahead of Rafael Renhofer. Hugo Rob has been through pit lane. Not in it. No pit stop made. Oh, Marco Bortolotti braking so late. He has to go for the move on Hugo Zasse. He manages to pull it off though. But we saw Hugo Zasse come from P5 to P3. Can Renhofer do the same now? Not giving him any toe whatsoever. We're gonna go 3 wide into turn 10. Who's gonna get out of it? Is it Renhofer, Hugo Zasse, or Marco Bortolotti? Place your bets now. Both braking late. Renhofer braking the latest, cutting the nose off from Marco Bortolotti, who has to go to a plastic surgeon to get that back on. But Renhofer is up into P2. Hugo Zasse from P3 to P5. You don't want to be in that leading spot. Marco Bortolotti under attack from Zasse, who just throws it up the inside of the left hand there of 13. Through 14, 15 and 16. Renhofer able to get a bit of a gap on Hugo Zasse, who's still fighting with Marco Bortolotti. Flashing headlights from the Italian. He's allowed Renhofer to get outside of a second to chase down who is Marinko Jordanovski. Hugo Rob, who's pitted early, is setting blistering lap times too. He's fighting, even though he's not at the front, for this lead too. The question is, does he have to make another pit stop, or has he made one already? His pit stop hasn't registered, his pit lane time has. .6 seconds the gap from Zasse to Bortolotti. We would go to equal points here if we stay as we are. No, we're not. I'm lying. It would be 1 point in it between Mirko Bortolotti and Renova if Renova takes P1. Mirko Bortolotti, though, gets up the inside of Hugo Zasse to give him one extra point that he could use pretty well. He's ahead, though, crucially, going on to the long straight. 11 minutes into this race, 7 to go. And it's been action-packed throughout. Zasse braking late, not too late. A good exit needed here. He's going to get the slipstream on Mirko Bortolotti. Here he comes. Hugo Zasse to the outside of the Italian. Mirko brakes late, very late. That car squarely under braking. Better exit for Hugo Zasse, who's going to try and have a look up the inside. Mirko Bortolotti knows it, blocks that move. Once again, better exit for Hugo Zasse, the outside this time. That might be a slowdown or a cut track there. Mirko Bortolotti forces Zasse there. The outside still, he still manages to hang round. That's going to give him the inside for 13, 14, 15 and 16. Hugo Zasse gets ahead of Mirko Bortolotti. Renova crucially is up the back of Jordanovski now. What's Jordanovski going to do here? Jordanovski, your answer is going to defend the inside. Renova carrying it all the way around the outside. Contact! And I have a feeling that was Jordanovski coming out on Renova, but I can't quite tell you. Mirko Bortolotti is pitted. We're going to have another look at that. Chopper cam on board with Marinko Jordanovski. Oh, it's difficult to say. Both have a penalty lingering over their head. I can't really tell you this one. Let's have another look at it from the chase cam. What does Marinko Jordanovski do here? This is crucial for us to know. Oh yeah, it does come out on him a little bit. There's front quarter panel to rear quarter panel contact. I don't know how the stewards are going to look at that. Different stewards tend to look at that differently. As that was not far enough alongside, however, into the corner he was far enough alongside. So in my opinion, you always deserve the racing room as long as into the corner, under braking, you're far enough alongside. I think that's not anyone's fault. That might just be a racing incident. It's going to come down to a steward's decision, though, and that we don't like to see. Mirko Bortolotti is ahead of Yannick Vonenberg, who hasn't made his pit stop yet. Or has he? Yes, he has. Yannick Vonenberg might be on for a mega result here. And the slipstream of Mirko Bortolotti. He's behind Henrik Augustino, has made his pit stop, and Benedict hits. Where did they come from? Where did they come from? Rafael Renova, when's he going to make his pit stop? That's the question, because he was right with Mirko Bortolotti. If they can stay ahead, that could be crucial, with Zasse also still in play. Jordanovski after that spin's going to be behind him, I'm pretty sure. Oh, oversteer moment for Hendrik Augustin. Mirko seems the quicker of the two here. He has 2 more laps to do something with it, though. Renov has gone into pit lane. Where is he going to come out? Into pit lane he goes. When does he stop? everyone into pit lane. Hugo Rob too. No, he stays out. Hugo Rob's going to stay out. And he's going to inherit that race lead. No one thought about him. No one has looked at him. But now they do. Hugo Rob finally, hopefully, managing the season. Or managing to close the season off on a high. Rafael Renhofer, where is he compared to the rest? Here they come. Hendrik Augustin. Up the hill. The speed's there. Benedict Hitz has jumped Renhofer. Where did those two come from? This could be crucial with Mirko Bortolotti down in 5th. Hugo Rob up in 1st. Yannick Vonenberg up behind Mirko Bortolotti now. What does Yannick Vonenberg do here? Does he know what's going on for Mirko Bortolotti? Does he care what's going on for Mirko Bortolotti? That's the main question, I think. Mirko Bortolotti must not allow him to have a chance here. So I feel like Yannick Vonenberg will take it. But Hugo Rob 8 seconds ahead of the field. Hasn't made a pit stop though. Has just driven to through pit lane. As it stands, it's not enough for Renhofer. He needs to do more. He needs to catch up at least to hits to even have a chance. 9/10 is the gap. The slipstream is working. Mirko Bortolotti is up behind Augustin too. He's going to brake late. So is Yannick Vonenberg. Yannick Vonenberg has dropped off this pack now. I have a feeling this might be enough for Mirko Bortolotti. What is Hugo Rob going to do? Is he going to continue or is he going to come into pit lane? That will answer my questions. He's going to continue. He hasn't stopped in the box. It's going to be a question if they deem this a pit stop or if a drive-through would be enough. He will finish this race without having stopped in his pit box, doing what everyone didn't think was possible. The question is if he gets disqualified from this race for not doing the mandatory pit stop, still Rafael Renhofer needs to get that position on Benedict Hitz, which could be crucial later. I don't know the answer to your question of is it legal. Mirko Bortolotti has gotten past Hendrik Augustin. That could well be enough. Even if Rafael Renhofer gets P2 now, it won't be enough. It's in Mirko Bortolotti's hands. And you know that when it's in his hands, it's in safe hands. This is now just defending his positions. It's been a season once again to remember. It's been a season in which Mirko Bortolotti has been pushed to the absolute limit. If things stay as they are, the gap at the front of the championship is going to come down to 3 points. He's going to draw alongside him. He doesn't need to overtake. Oh, but boy, does he want to. The gap is going to come down to 3 points in the championship. But it won't matter. Mirko Bortolotti has been pushed to the limit harder than he ever has been. Hugo Rob's going to win this race. But Mirko Bortolotti, after the championship fight with Rafael Renhofer, will do what Michael Schumacher and Lewis Hamilton did too. He will become a 7-time champion of the W12 Sprint Series, and this one's better than all the others have been able to do. Mirko Bortolotti is your W12 Sprint Series champions of season number 7. 7 times in a row he's done it now. And oh boy, was this a difficult one, but he has done it. 9 victories this season. Make that 10 with the victory he took. Oh no, it wasn't. No, 9 victories. Didn't take a victory earlier on in Server 1. 9 victories in total this season for Mirko Bortolotti, with heats, with features, and with main races. And oh boy, what a season we have had. 3 points in it. Renhofer pushed into the end, but it wasn't quite enough. Waiting for a couple of drivers to come or cross the line out for us to get the result. Here we go, that was it. Mirko Bortolotti, your champion of the Season 7, the W12 Sprint Series. Here's the result. Hugo Robb wins. We'll see if he's allowed to keep that one after not having stopped in his box. Benedict hits in second, ahead of Rafael Renhofer in third. Then Mirko Bortolotti in fourth, Hendrik Augustin in fifth, Yannick Wonenberg in sixth, Hugo Zasse seventh, Sean Taylor in eighth, Philippe Graham in ninth, and Jan Lins in P10. P11 for Jens Fiedler, Niels Langeveld in P12, Florian Stadtmann in 13th, Marinke Jordanovski 14th, that of Dennis Richter, your silver champion of season number 7 in 15th. Marius Zug in 16th, that of Florian Becker in 17th, 18th for Mario Hatzog, 19th for Stefano Pellegrino, and 20th for Ben Green. P21 for Christian Ablasa, Ivan Ferrari, P22, Lucas Baza, P23, Maximilian Paul, P24, P25 for Leon Blum, Jonas Varna, P26, Martin Stadtmann in P27, Robert Heger, P28, Marco Steffel, P29, Andrea Frasinetti in P30. Phew, what a season we've had, ladies and gentlemen. And we rounded off with one of the classics, a action-packed server in these GR86s. Boy, did we strike gold when we drew that one. Let's see if we have anyone in for an interview. And we do. It's our silver class winner, Philippe Hugran. Welcome into the booth.
Hello, thank you.
Philip, tell us all about your race, winning in the reverse grid race in the silver class. Tell us about your championship. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, I came in with high hopes to win the championship. I was doing very well in the future race in the first server until my steering wheel unfortunately disconnected in P1. I finished 5th and I lost it like this. But yeah, I came back strong in the second server, starting 23rd and finished 11 overall or 12th and P1 on silver. Didn't expect it with this car, to be honest, but happy to end up the season with some strong pace.
Well, I think that victory has also pushed you up to P2 in the Silver Championship, if I'm not wrong.
I need to check. We need to wait for the final classifications also, but maybe. This is what I think. I believe so.
So we're just going to presume that you're going to finish off the season in second. Coming into this last round, P4, was that something you thought was possible?
I thought P1 is possible. I don't know how far P1 is from me, and I know I could have done it. I was with 1.5 laps to go in the first server in P1, holding the P2, the guy who won, Dennis. Congrats to him. And yeah, that's it in the end. I'm happy with what I've achieved with a bad mid season, let's say.
Is that something you're going to try and look to improve for next season, perhaps?
Oh, definitely. I won it last season. I am P2 now, and I'm going to win it again, hopefully. No?
That's what we want to hear, Philip. Any highlights of the season?
Oh, I don't know. I really enjoyed everything. It was nice that we drove different cars everywhere. Nice to have such an amazing draw and new tracks I've never driven before. Yeah, looking for the next season to get some new cars maybe in the championship or some special events. Happy with everything so far.
We're looking forward to see you back, Philip. Is there anyone you want to shout out before you leave the booth?
I would like to thank Mirko for everything he's done to collect everyone from everywhere to drive together, and also to my team for supporting me and helping me in some situations on the track.
All right, Philip, thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That was Philip Hugrin, who won the race in the silver class on
No.
to someone I haven't talked to in quite a while, Mr. Hugo Rob. Welcome into the commentary booth, my friend.
Hello.
This is how Hugo usually enters himself into any chat. Hugo, welcome in. Congratulations on your victory. By technicality, I think we can say. You were the only one not to stop in your pit box. My question is, are you going to keep that victory? I hope so, but you did something that the others probably didn't even think of doing.
I mean, they have to give it to me, considering how my season has been.
Yeah, you've had some horrid luck, not only this season, but the previous season as well. I think the first race at Misano was a prime example of that. Driving along, getting a car, all of a sudden just entering your own car. Not nice, obviously, but do you have any highlights, particularly of the season? Maybe the victory here?
Highlights? That I even managed to finish a race, I guess.
I think that tells you enough on how Hugo's season went. Are you looking forward, even though you're bad luck, to compete next season again?
Yes.
So we're going to see you back. Is that a promise, Hugo?
Yes.
All right, there we go. A promise that we're going to see him back next season. Hugo, is there anything
Trust
you want to shout
process.
out before you leave the booth?
Miracle.
Right. I think that's the most we're going to get out of the suite today. Hugo, thank you very, very much. I hope you can keep that victory. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That was Hugo Rob coming into the booth. Next up on the list, we have quite a few today, which is good to see. Benedict Hitz, welcome into the booth, Ben.
Hello, hello.
Ben, you have to tell me the battle with Rafael Renhofer, the battle at the front of the field, and all of a sudden you emerging at the front of the field. Tell us all about it and how it went.
Yeah, it was quite funny. I think I had everything under control after I passed Johnny in the beginning of the race, and we did some little teamwork just to stay in front. We nearly forgot to do the pit stop and came in for the last lap, and both missed our pit guy, ran too far, lost like 2 seconds, and then yeah, last lap was exciting. And yeah, it was a great fight. Nice and fair fight. I enjoyed it.
You seem to have some mega pace in these cars. What do you think that was down to?
I don't know. Don't ask me why. I wish I could deliver that pace in every race, but yeah, was good. Was good.
Is there any
Was
highlights
okay.
you have of the season, Ben?
Oh, highlight! I think the first race, the heat one with the rallycross cars, when everybody thought we can go like the full distance of the heat race, but we needed to save some fuel. and I wasn't on pace at all in that race, but and won it after everybody pitted. That was probably my highlight. Yeah, that was quite funny.
All right, Ben. Is there anyone you want to shout out before you leave the booth?
Yeah, just to my teammates, to Johnny, and some support from other guys in the background.
All right. Thank you very much for coming into the commentary booth. Congratulations on your second place. You might be promoted to first place because Hugo Rob didn't stop in his pit box. We'll see what that comes down to.
He just did an drive-through.
Yeah,
I don't
indeed.
think that counts, to be honest.
We'll see.
Uh,
We'll see. But you might be promoted to P1. But anyways, congratulations on P2 for now, Ben.
Thank you.
Hopefully we'll see you back next season.
Thanks a lot.
Well, that was Benedict Hits. On to Christian Hablasar now. Christian, welcome into the booth.
Hello.
I do have to ask you though, coming into this evening, I think only 3 points behind Dennis Richter. The championship was for sure possible for you, but it just didn't seem to be your evening.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like the last 2 rounds didn't were my evenings. So today was not the best day for me, but yeah, it is what it is. And congrats to Dennis for winning the silver championship, and also Florian Stadtmann is now in second, and I dropped down to third. So yeah, it's for sure not the result I wanted to see, but it is what it is. And yeah, full attack next season, I guess.
What do you think that drop in form was down to these last 2 weeks? Was it just cars that you didn't quite like, or you not being at the top of your abilities?
Yeah, today it was like cars which I'm not that good at. So Porsche Cup and Toyota, I didn't know where to find the pace. And the week before in Formula 3 it would have been quite good, but I was involved in an incident. So it's definitely more the downforce cars and GT3 style cars where I have a much better pace than in the Toyota and Porsche Cup. But you cannot do something against the draw.
That's very
It's
true.
for everyone.
You've got a taste of fighting for the championship now. Does that mean we'll see you back next season?
For sure, yeah. That's
Alright.
definitely.
Is there anyone, Christian, you want to shout out before we let you leave the booth?
Yeah, I wanna shout out to my friends which are watching into the stream, and also my family, and yeah. That's it.
All right, thank you very much for
You're welcome.
coming in. And, well, we'll see you back next season, Christian.
Exactly. So see you next season.
That's Christian Ablasser, but we have a bit of time now to talk a bit calmer now to our silver champion of season number 7. Dennis, sorry for taking you out of that conversation with our overall champion, Mirko Bortolotti, but we do have to talk about this season because, boy, have you deserved that championship.
Thank you, Dan.
Tell
It
us
was
all
a pleasure.
about it.
Yeah, it was the second time that I drove in the series, and yeah, it was quite fun. So I missed the first race. That was a little bit bad for me. And then race to race, I guess it was also lucky with the draws because most of the cars suit me. So I guess it was not last week, so the week before it was a little bit but in the end it was overall again a nice season. For me it's really good that no one can prepare itself on each car and track, so the draw system is very good, I guess. So nobody can train for days and days. Yeah, that's what I like at the series.
Do you think that adaptability to just adapt to what you're driving and which circuit you're driving at is one of your strong points?
Yeah, some cars suits me more than other, sure. So I'm not the Formel guy, more the GT guy. Yeah, it's hard to tell.
So what you're saying is if we draw only Formula cars next season, you're going to have a harder time.
Yeah, it's tougher for me then, yeah. So it depends on which Formula car it is. So the Super Formula is much more difficult to drive than the F3 for sure. But yeah, it so if you get more trained, then I guess you know it. Then you will be faster. Yeah.
Dennis, having won the Silver Championship now, you might be looking at a bump up to the overall class. You ready for that?
Mm, I look forward. I always try to improve myself. Yeah, and I might not ready for the top 10, but I would like to compete sometimes to get there and always to be better. So I'm happy to be here, and if I'm a silver, I'm silver, and if I get ranked up, I'm also happy and try my best for next season.
Right, last question before we let you leave
Yeah.
is what was your personal highlight of the season?
Mm, GTE at Zolder, because the track is nice, it's really good, and the GTE is without ABS, it's tough to drive, and that was one of the races that yeah, I remember was the most of the fun races. Yeah.
All right, Dennis, is there anyone you want to shout out before we let you leave the booth?
Yeah, well, thank you, the Robert Heger, because he took me in this series. He asked Mirko if I can join, and then yeah, I could join last season, and yeah, it makes much fun because you drive with some people you know from the TV or from the original places, and you're here together, and I guess everything is cool and fine, and we are a good community here, and it's always fun to drive here.
That's great to hear, Dennis. Well,
Okay.
congratulations on your championship. Don't
Yeah,
party too hard if
thank
you
you.
have to work tomorrow. Don't get too
Yeah,
drunk.
we will. No, well, we will see us at the ADAC Cup on Wednesday.
Sounds good. Hopefully see you back next
Yeah.
season as well.
Okay. Also, yeah. Also, Dan, thank
Right.
you.
Thank you very much, Dennis.
Bye.
Bye-bye. That was Dennis Richter. But, I mean, it's time to talk to the man who's done it for the 7th time in a row. Mirko Bortolotti. You're getting used to this, aren't you?
Poor, honestly, it was quite a tough one. Good evening, first of all. Yeah, I don't know what to say, to be honest. It's been a tough night. For sure, you know, the fact that I had to drop more than like 35 points out of drop scores from the previous rounds didn't help. But that's the rules. So yeah, everything was wide open. That's the way we wanted it in the end of the day. But I was not aiming to fight that much for it. And yeah, it's been once again a really cool season. Thanks for your support as well, and for the stream and everything, and the work we do in the background. And yeah, not more to add. Just still, yeah, just a tough one, to be honest. It's been really uncomfortable combinations tonight with the Porsche and Misano, and Kota has never been a good track for me. So yeah, I think it was just a survival, and some quite some battles going on out there with, you know, some drivers helping other drivers out and stuff like that. I must say that Hugo Zasse, who's sharing the car with Rafael in real life, I think he was a really good wingman for him tonight, and that made the thing even more exciting. But I must say everybody fought really hard, but there was nothing unfair going on, which is great. And yeah, so thanks for all the drivers competing and just putting up a good show.
You've really been pushed to your limit. I think if everything stays as it is, the gap is 3 points at the end of the season now between you and Rafael. What was your personal highlight of the season?
The highlight for me was the Formula 3 in Jerez combo, quite clearly, because Formula 3 is quite a special car to me. It's I won in real life with that car, winning the Italian Formula 3 championship in 2008, quite a long time ago. And I must say, it's quite a funny story, but in 2009, when I got called from Red Bull to do the young driver test for Toro Rosso in Jerez, a month before that race, I went there to learn the track in a Formula 3 car actually, and it was exactly the same combo we ran last week. So that was a pretty special combo to me, and probably the best we ever had in W12 in my opinion. Also the racing was insane. So that was for me definitely the highlight. I'm not a fan of these, you know, mainstream cars, Porsche Cup that everybody drives, or GT3 even. I must say I'm not a fan of it in iRacing, even though I'm driving it every day in real life. But I'm not a fan of the class in iRacing, just due to the fact that, you know, people practice non-stop in it. So I'm more a fan of, you know, of the cars that nobody drives.
You've won 7 championships now. You must be doing something right. Do you think the ability to adapt quick to new situations, new tracks, new cars is one of your main strengths and one of the main reasons why you won your 7th championship?
Yeah, but also staying out of trouble and being up there. I think after the first 10 or 12 servers, I think I had like 8 times P2 in qualifying, and I was never on pole this season, not even once. My tiniest margin was 1,000th of a second in Sebring in the Super Formula quali behind Hendrik Augustin. And it's been super tight. I think it's really important to be consistently quick, especially in quali, because that gives you a much better starting point for those races, you know, that really handle out the most points, like the big points races. And then from there, there are many factors. I mean, you need to survive, you need to have a good strategy, good pace. It's the mix really that makes the difference. I think it's not just being fast or being consistent. You need to be a little bit of everything in order to, you know, keep your pace and your results up.
All right, Merck, I'm going to ask you the most difficult question of the year. The season number 7 championship in the W12 Sprint Series or your DTM championship?
Mate. But W12 for sure. It's not even a question. No. I mean, I think this is an unfair question to ask. But DTM is something really special, and W12 is a fun league, and I'm really happy that the people enjoying it, and keep asking me when we continue, when is the next round, when are we going to launch another season, which
What is next for W12? You must know.
Yes, so in 2 weeks time, stay tuned, because you're gonna stream an event that we've never had. So it's gonna be a special event, W12 special event on Monday night, consisting of a race of champions, and then kind of
We'll only
battle
have
of
one driver if that's the case, Mirko.
Yes, let's say more the format that we are talking about. So in the end, everybody's gonna compete, but it's gonna be rallycross for the first time, a rallycross event, race of champions, and then it's gonna be another, let's say, intercontinental cup with 3 servers on 3 different continents, where we're gonna race, you know, track and car combinations that are well known on each of these continents. So that's going to be really exciting, I think, and it's going to be another chance to get back on track and fight for something that we have never had in the W12 series.
All right, so keep up to date with that. Make sure you follow us along in 2 weeks' time. Mirko, my last question, is there anyone you want to shout out before you leave the booth tonight and go and party?
Just everyone working in the background, all the boys at Gazix, of course, but not only, all the other drivers competing and, you know, enjoying coming up with ideas and, you know, the whole thing, you included. I mean, Edwin is not here tonight, but I hope he's going to be back in the booth with you soon. And I think you guys did a great job. Thanks for the support, and see you in 2 weeks' time.
All right, Mirko, thank you very much. Go and party now. Thank you. That was Mirko Bortolotti, your 7th-time champion of the W12 Sprint Series. Well, what a season that was. You've heard it. 2 weeks' time. And then the W12 Sprint Series will be back with a new format never seen before. Rallycross and an Intercontinental Cup. Make sure you stay tuned for that. For now, it's goodbye from me, Dan Papels. Goodbye from everyone at the W12 Sprint Series who's worked in the background. And thank you for watching all season long. This has been it. And until 2 weeks' time, stay safe, and we'll see you there. Good night.